Hi everyone, so in this video we are going to look at how you can use drama to explore a topic. So it might be that you are studying a particular topic at school, or there's something that you're really passionate about, something that you really care about. So in this video I'm going to give you some ideas for ways that you can use drama to get that message out and to share what you've learned or what you know about a topic. So the first thing that you'll want to do is choose a topic to work on. Now, if you are a teacher and you're doing this with your class, then maybe you already have a topic in mind, maybe there's something that you're already working on or something that's particularly relevant to your class. If you're at home and you're doing this by yourself, then the world's your oyster. You can pick whatever you want. You can pick something that you think is interesting or pick something that you really, really care about. Once you've picked your topic, then the first thing that you should start to do is research it. So you might already know quite a lot about it, but when you are researching normally, you're looking for stuff like facts and figures and statistics. But when you're researching a topic for drama, you're going with a little bit of a different head on really. You're going to look for good stories, anecdotes, and people, characters, okay? So even if this is a topic you know a lot about, jump into some research, but really be looking for interesting stories, interesting characters, things that you can take and use for drama. Okay, so once you've done your research, then you want to start mapping it out and showing us all the things that you've learned. So a really simple way to do it would be to do something like this, so to just make two lists. So all the interesting people that you've found, and then all the interesting events that you've found. Okay, now this is pretty simple, so you might have a more interesting, more creative way to do it. So you might want to make like a timeline where you show us all the different things that happen, all the different events that have happened. Or if you found a really interesting character, you might want to make like a character profile, so all the different things that you've learned about that person. You might, well, maybe you don't like writing, some people don't, so maybe you would want to do it like a drawing, so you could draw a picture of the characters, or draw maybe like a comic book, comic strip to show us the events that you found that you think are interesting. So really it's up to you. You could do a big mind map, you could do anything really. There's no right or wrong way to do this, but something that's going to help you to see everything that you've learned and just be able to see all the information at the same time. So once you've got all of your research out in front of you, then hopefully you can start to find some interesting possible characters that you can look at. So the next thing that I think you could try that would be a good way to develop some of the research that you've done into something more creative would be to choose a character, and then you're going to work on them and learn a little bit about them. So if you're a teacher doing this with a class, a good way to do this would be to split everybody off into pairs. Ask them all to choose a character that you've found in your research, or they might all be the same character, that's okay too. When they're in their pairs, one of them is going to interview the other one. The person being interviewed will answer in character, and then swap over. Okay, now if you're at home, you can still do this. So you could maybe find someone at home and ask them if they wouldn't mind interviewing you, if they can think of some questions to ask you, and you answer as your character. Now, you don't need to know all the answers. You might get asked a question and you think, oh, I didn't find that in the research. You know, someone might ask you who you live with, or who your best friend is, or what your favourite food is. And if that's not in the research, then you can just make that up using what you already know to be true about that character. You can make it up, you can be creative. So find someone to interview you, answer lots and lots and lots of questions, and really get to know the character that you have chosen, or the character that you're starting to create. So once you've done that, what you can then do is take everything that you've learned and then go away and write yourself a monologue. Alright, now a monologue is like a speech just for one character to say. So you could do it where you're saying how your character is feeling about something. It might be just your character explaining to the audience who they are and what they're like. Or you might want to do it like a letter. Maybe if in your research you found that there was another character that this person liked or lived with or cared about, you might want it to be that they're writing a letter to them. It's really up to you. It's just a good way to get all your research and all your creative ideas from your interview and put it into a big speech so that we can really get to know your character. And if you've chosen a topic that is something like a historical event, then this is also a good way to get lots of different people's perspectives on one event. So if you are doing this with a group of people, then it's a good way to get lots of different perspectives. Or if you're doing it on your own, you could write from lots of different people's perspectives so that we can see how lots of people feel about the one thing. So you've done your research, you've found some really interesting people, you have found out lots about them, and you've written a monologue. You've done loads already. Now the next thing that you could do in a really good way to tell people about a topic that you find important or about a story that you think is really interesting is to make your own news report. So for making a news report, you don't have to film yourself. You could just do this live for whoever's in your house. You could just perform it for them. But if you wanted to film it, I'll just really quickly tell you some things that you can do that might make that a bit easier for you if you don't have a full camera crew in your house, because who does? So at the moment, I don't have a big fancy camera. I'm filming this on my phone. Alright, so you can do that. If you've got a phone or a tablet that you can film on, you can just do it on that. I don't have a tripod. I've made one myself out of a ladder and some books. I'll just show you. Okay, so I just balance my phone on the top of that stack of books, and that does the job. So how can you make your news report look like a news report? Think about where you're going to sit when you film it. So can you sit behind the desk or maybe at the dining table? Think about what's behind you. Maybe you could make a big poster to hang behind you with the name of your news channel or the big headlines behind you. And every news report needs a good theme song. So you can get, if you go onto YouTube or Spotify or wherever you get your music, you will be able to find news report theme tunes. So some of them will be real ones, some of them will be made up ones. So find that too, and that will make your news report look really cool before it's even started. All right. So when you start your news report, you'll start with telling us what the story is and give us a little bit of information about it. And then you might want to cut and go to different reporters, different locations, or different people. You might want to use some of the characters that you made up to give their story. Maybe they're being interviewed. If you've got someone else around that can be an interviewer that's happy to be in your news report with you, you could have interviews. So there's lots of ways that you can do that. So you could go into a different room. You could go outside to your garden. Or you could make yourself look really different. It's me. Now once you're finished, you might want to just show it to someone just by playing all the clips on your phone in order. Or you might want to try and edit it all together. So if you've got something like iMovie, you can edit it all and make it into one big clip, which would look quite cool. But if you don't know how to do that, or you don't have the stuff to do that, then don't worry about it. Just showing your clips in order on your phone will be enough. That'll be really cool. So that's your news report all done. So by now, you have learned loads. You're an expert in the topic that you've chosen. So the final thing that I would say you could do would be to think about if you had the opportunity to stand up in front of your whole school and tell them everything that you've learned. How would you do it? What would you do? And what are the really important things that you think that they should know about? So for your topic, maybe think of like 5 key things. So it could be, if you've picked a topic like something like climate change or something, it might be 5 messages that you think are really important. Or if you've picked a topic that's more like a historical event, like World War I, you might want to pick 5 key facts or key events that you think people should know about. And think about, once you've picked your 5 things, think about how you would get people to listen. How would you make people interested in the topic? So you might want to make an advert, or you could make a song, or a slogan, or a poster, or a little drama sketch. It's up to you, again, as always, there's no right or wrong way to do this. So be creative and use your imagination, but think about if you had like a few minutes to get up in front of your school and get them to feel as excited and interested in the topic as you are, how would you do it? So hopefully that has given you lots of things that you can try. Some of these things will be great when you're in school and you can do them as a big group with other people in your class, but all of these things you can also do them at home and have a lot of fun. It's a good way. Drama is a great way to learn something because it means that you get up. You're not sitting at your desk, you're not sitting writing all day. So, off you go, choose your topic, start your research and have a lot of fun.